week edition of Testimony Time on Osrc television. I am your favorite host, Adenike Olighton. Today I have with me a remarkable testifier whose life story is sure to inspire and uplift you. On a calm Monday morning, July 28, 1953, the village of Alayere near Ogbese steered with quiet joy. A long-awaited prayer had been answered. After 14 years of steadfast faith and patient waiting by Joseph Atonsoyi and Chief Mrs. Felicia Olojuola Fagbemi welcomed their precious child into the world. They named her Koshemani, meaning it is not too difficult for God. The name itself would feel prophetic, defining the course of her remarkable life. Born into a humble home in Obaile, Akure North local government area, young Koshemani grew up surrounded by the virtues of hard work, faith, and service of humanity. Her parents, having endured years of hope and trials before her birth, poured their love and prayers into nurturing her from childhood. She displays an uncommon brilliance, resilience, and a burning desires to make a difference. As a woman in an era when leadership and public service were dominated by men, Koshemani faced numerous challenges, yet she met each obstacle with quiet strength and unwavering determination. Her academic pursuits and professional journey were marked by diligence and excellence, earning her respect and admiration in every role she took on. Through sheer commitment and competence, she rose steadily through the ranks of the Ondo State Civil Service. Her leadership style, firm yet compassionate, set her apart. Her colleagues saw in her not just an administrator, but a mentor, a mother figure, and an embodiment of integrity in public service. Eventually, history smiled upon her when she shattered the glass ceiling to become the first female head of service in Ondo State. Her appointment was not just a personal achievement, but a powerful symbol of what women could accomplish through merit and perseverance. Under her stewardship, the civil service experienced renewed discipline, efficiency, and motivation. Beyond her professional accomplishments, Chief Mrs. Koshemani Kolawole remained deeply rooted in her faith and community. She carried herself with grace, humility, and genuine love for people. Her story continues to inspire generations of women to dream boldly, work diligently, and trust in God's perfect timing. Indeed, from a child born after 14 years of waiting to a woman who broke barriers and made history, Koshemani's life is a testimony that with faith and perseverance, no dream is too distant and no challenge is insurmountable. Sit back and watch as Mrs. Koshema shares the challenges she faced in life and how she overcame them.
Good day. My name is Chief Dr. Mrs. Stella Koshemani Kolawole. I was born to the family of late Pa and Mrs. Joseph Atonsoyi and Felicia Fagbemi in 1953, after they had waited on the Lord for about 14 years. So my mother took in for the first time and had two boys following one another, but it was stillbirth. So after which I now came within a year, and she had to go and hide herself in the village Alayere, very close to Ogbese, because of fears and the past experiences she had had. So I grew up in Alayere. I attended St. Luke's CAC Primary School, Bolorunduro, which is very close to about 5 minutes walk from Alayere. And because I lived with my uncle and my mother's auntie, I didn't even know my father's real name at the time I started school at the age of 5. So I was bearing Koshimani Peter until I was ready to finish primary 6. I now changed to my father's name. So for the common entrance, I now had to start bearing Koshimani Fagbemi. While growing up, after my primary 6 and I had to go to secondary school, in 1964 December, my father first paid the deposit, £5 to CAC Grammar School. But shortly after that, people used to say Akintola ge cocoa, Akintola ge cocoa. A bag of cocoa now dropped to £5 per bag. And my father said, because it's a polygamous home, my father said he couldn't cope with those that are already in school and my fees. So because of that, I had to stop. So my mother had to take me to Temidayo maternity home, Ondo Bypass, in 1965-66, where I went to Modern 1, Modern 2. So in 1966, I have a cousin who was attending Fiwashaye Girls Grammar School. So through her, I knew about Fiwashaye. And after passing the entrance exam, somebody went to my father and said, you want to kill your daughter with your money? And my father said, what's the meaning? He said, tí Koshimani bá ti wọ Fiwashaye tó dẹ̀ gbóyún, inú pocket money ẹ̀ ló ti máa mú tá fi ṣẹ́ oyún á dẹ̀ kú. So that means you have killed your daughter with your money. So my father now withdrew and said he was no more interested in sending me to school. So when I entered Fiwashaye, my mother had to take it up. Because I don't have any sibling, direct sibling from her. I only have half siblings from my father. So my mother loved what I loved. She didn't know the meaning of education or the implication or the dividends of education. But because that was what I wanted, she decided to go into borrowing. So she would go to Egbeaya Bishop, the Women's Guild Association in St. John's Anglican Church of Baile, and was borrowing money, paying a shilling interest on £1. That's what she was paying. And that's how I was able to go to Fiwashaye. So my father would give as little, any amount he wanted was what he would give, and tell my mother to go and look for the balance. And the part of the challenge then was that my mother could not buy aṣọ ẹgbẹ́. She was afraid because she would be scolded. Ẹni tó ń tọ́ ọmọ ẹ̀ kò lè raṣọ, kò lè bẹ́gbẹ́ mu. So I continued till I got to Form 5 in Fiwashaye, because that was the secondary school was for 5 years at that time. During the last year, after my fees had been paid, I now had Akure local government scholarship. So Miss Pelly, the missionary who was our principal at Fiwashaye, accepted the scholarship, the amount. She didn't give to my parents. She kept it and was determined that I should go to higher HSC, higher school certificate. So she asked my mother where I would want, because I had admission in King's College, Christ School, St. Anne's, Aquinas, Oyemekun. My mother insisted that I shouldn't leave Akure. So Miss Pelly decided to pay the scholarship amount to Oyemekun Grammar School. That was what I used for lower 6 and upper 6. So I give glory to God for that opportunity. I wouldn't have gone beyond school certificates if that Akure local government scholarship did not come. So I was in Oyemekun, a school where you have 700 boys with about 20 girls. So another challenge was very timid Koshimani living Fiwashaye, all girls, now going to all boys school with just 20 girls. In my upper 6, I was made the senior girl. So because I was very shy, so it became another challenge for me to face the students. The principal who made me senior girl, Baba late Adilewa, would say, go and address them, go and address them. So I had to learn. I became a tomboy sort of at Oyemekun Grammar School when I had to be facing 700 boys. So eventually I started looking at their heads. I will not look at their face to be able to talk. So that's where God actually beat me up to have boldness and courage for making public speeches. So from there I went to Obafemi Awolowo University, and at the end of my first year, it was I was one of the best 3 students in the Faculty of Education, and so I had a national award. So that also took me through my university education. And after that, I started working. I got married in 1976, and to the glory of God, the marriage is blessed with 6 children, and we are all doing fine. So so while in school, I had a child, and during youth service, I had another one, and so life continued. My husband was working in UCH Ibadan, so after graduation, I moved to UCH and started teaching until 1985, when my husband had to come to Ondo State because the state needed doctors, so he had to come and take up appointment as the PMO of State Hospital Akure. So since 1985, we have been living in Ondo State, and through that, I rose to the level of vice principal. By the time I came from Oyo State, I was already a vice principal. But by the time we got to Ondo State, there was no vacancy. So I had to be posted as a class teacher to Aquinas College, where I became head of department, and again got back the position of a vice principal. So in 1981, this Better Life program, they were looking for teachers, well-educated women who are hardworking, and so I was deployed. I was one of those people deployed from the secondary schools. I was vice principal Akure Secondary Commercial before I was deployed to the then Women Commission, now Ministry of Women Affairs, as a women education officer. So by the time I got there in 1991, there was advert, so I applied, and I was appointed assistant director. But before then, there was another challenge. So when I was leaving Oyo State, the promotion to level 10 had not been, to level 12 had not been done. I was on level 10. By the time I got to Ondo State, promotion had been concluded here. So I was on level 10 for 8 years in Ondo State. So people were saying, what is it, Koshemane, what is it? So at a stage, I was at the verge of resigning to take up contract jobs, that if I worked with my head, my hands, I know I will be able to make it. So many people knew about my story, and I say they will give you, I was being given level 13 job to do, but I was on level 10. So this continued. Even as a vice principal, Akure Secondary Commercial, I was doing a level 13 job, but still on level 10. So that was a big challenge. So it was based, even along the line that I was deployed to the Women Commission. So by the time I got to Women Commission again, it was another challenge, because a level 10 officer coming to Women Commission, while my colleagues, classmates were already on level 12, and some of them moving to level 13, was a lot of unhappiness for me at the end of the month. So, but eventually this appointment came in 1991, and so I got I first applied for the post of assistant director. By the time I did the interview, the outcome was that a level 10 officer couldn't have been given a level 14 post, so they had to re-advertise the post, so which was a big unhappiness again. But as God will have it, we now had from Ondo Central Schools Board at that time that the promotion was going on. So I did that the interview on October 28, 1991 as a level 10 officer. But by the end of October or beginning of November, promotion had been done in teaching, now Teaching Service Commission, to level 12. So I went to collect the promotion letter to see that it was dated July 1st. So I brought it to the DFA at that time, Mr. Olumekun. As soon as I gave the letter, he said, congratulations. As at the time you did the interview, you were already a level 12 officer. So he had to write to the SSG at that time that this woman is no more a level 10 officer, the level 12 officer. So that was how I was given the level 14 job. And on and on and on like that, I give God the glory, because right at the Women Commission, I was assigned the post of representative of the Women Commission on UNICEF. So I was working with those on WASAN, and so I was social mobilization officer for UNICEF in Ondo State. So from there, I also became the Women in Development officer for UNDP. And along the line, the opportunity came for me to travel to India for 10 months, sponsored by United Fund for Population Activities, UNFPA. So I went there for population and development activities for 10 months and came back. And by the time I came back, I was already somebody else, no more the teacher that was deployed from the school. So I was now into population activities and development. So UNDP then advertised that somebody should come and represent Ondo State on UNDP, which I applied. And as at that time, I had attended so many seminars, about 27 certificates was what I had. So the interview was done, and eventually UNDP gave me that appointment to represent Ondo State on United Nations development programs in Ondo State. So the resident representative came and gave through a press conference at the ESCO with the late Dr. Agagu. So, and I was there for 7 years. The state was coming first in almost all the programs, particularly on integrated development program. UNDP earmarked 15 communities for each state, but thank God I was able to cover 37 states instead of 15 states. So this put Ondo State first amongst the 36 states. And as a result, the Ondo State had to be given the Millennium Village in 2005, Millennium Village in Ikaram Ibaram. Then in 2006, the Millennium City was given to Akure as the only Millennium City in Nigeria, being one of the 7 in Africa. While on UNDP was in 2003 when late Dr. Agagu became governor. So we were to give briefs to ESCO. So it was the turn of my monitoring and evaluation unit as state program monitoring advisor. And so when I gave the brief of what we were doing, later Dr. Agagu said, this is a very lucky woman. You are doing poverty eradication. And poverty reduction is what my government is interested in doing. I want to enlarge that your unit to become a bigger office. Go and think of 3 possible names and come and give me tomorrow. I will pick one. So it was the 3 names I gave him that he picked Accelerated Poverty Alleviation Agency, APA. So APA was one of the 3 names that I gave him, and he chose APA. So I was now moved. So my office was now enlarged to become APA, and I was there as the pioneer secretary and later as acting permanent secretary. So that was 2004. In 2005, based on the activities and the encomiums that Ondo State was receiving from UNDP, I was promoted. I was elevated to the post of permanent secretary in 2005 July, and the people from UNDP now came, representative of UNDP came to see Dr. Agagu. What will now happen to UNDP now that Mrs. Kolawole has been made a permanent secretary? Late Dr. Agagu said, even if she is posted to the Ministry of Abuja, let UNDP go with her. So the Ministry of Women Affairs, to which I was posted, UNDP had to come again with me to the Ministry of Women Affairs. So it was another challenge coping with my responsibilities as a permanent secretary and also as a UNDP representative. Again, I was elevated to the post of head of service and acting head of service at first, August 31st, 2012, and confirmed as head of service January 2013, and I had to retire in July 2013. So as the first female head of service in Ondo State. I want to advise you to rely on God and be patient enough in life. Don't rush into things. As a level 14 officer in Women Commission, the governor, the military administrator's wife already penciled me down as a executive secretary, and people had been coming. Even my spiritual colleagues in SU came. God said, you'll be on top, you are not going to be at the bottom, so take it. But within me, I went to the administrator's wife and I said, ma, please, there is somebody level 16 in that office. I was a deputy director. She was the director. How could I be made the executive secretary? What will now happen to her? She said she will be returned to where she came from. I said, no, that will mean that I am the cause of the problem. So if I started praying, Lord, please save me from her hands, because many people will take, they will take faction. They will back out, thinking that maybe I was the one that lobbied. I said, no, where will I have the time to pray, God, support me to do this job? Please, ma, I will not be able to do it. Then she prayed that somebody who is being offered number 1 position, but he's saying it belongs to somebody. She prayed for me. God will take you to your mountain top. Even what you didn't pray for, God will do it for you. It was after that because I refused to take that position, somebody else had to be brought from Ministry of Education to be executive secretary. That was before I now became a permanent secretary. If I had taken it up, maybe my end would have come, because there would be factions between Ekiti and Ondo states at that time, which would be very hot. So I will beseech you to please be patient. What God will do for you, He will do for you. If I had taken that job, I wouldn't have been permanent secretary, talk less of head of service. So take your time. God has a plan for you, and He has an appointed time to fulfill the destiny He has proposed for you. That is 1. 2, the advice what happened on this 47,000 naira. It's not that I didn't need money, but please, wherever you are, try to do judicious expenditure, judicious spending. Try to be accountable, because God will also pay you back. If I had rushed into taking money and bribes and things like that, maybe I wouldn't have had the opportunity of becoming head of service. And as head of service, my workers knew that every morning in that office, I will pray to God. They will join me to pray to God, because this God listens to you and is ready to hear your prayers, because He has said, ask, it shall be given unto you. So try to serve God. Try to do unto others. When I was head of service, they called me Apostle of Emotional Intelligence. And what is emotional intelligence? Simply do to other people what you want them to do unto you.
I believe you have been inspired by Chief Mrs. Koshe Manning's Kolawole's testimony. Don't miss next week's episode, when I will be bringing you into another powerful story of trial. Before I go, let me leave you with this. Every struggle you face is shaping you into someone stronger and wiser. Keep going. Your light is about to shine brighter than ever. Keep pushing. Adenike, the writer, is my name. Bye for now.